What's up, it's Beautiful Flex, and in this video I'm gonna help you guys sleep. Okay, sleep is mega important. It's probably like the difference between being Goku and getting slapped around like Vegeta. Now, no disrespect to Vegeta, I love Vegeta. Vegeta is like, he's like king, but you understand, like sleep is very important. Like personally, I believe that the difference between you sleeping good and the difference between you not sleeping good would be as if the person sleeping good, the good version of sleep, is on PEDs. That's how good sleep is, right? You get a boost in testosterone. You just feel better in general, right? Like it's easier to lose weight because you're not as hungry, because ghrelin levels stay down and leptin levels stay up, right? And as I said, testosterone. Who does not want testosterone? It makes you stronger, makes you more motivated, makes you more of a beast, all right? So prioritize your sleep, okay? So I'm gonna give you guys a couple tips. I got 5 key tips and a couple extras as well to help you guys out when it comes to sleep. So tip number 1 is time. Very simple, kind of self-explanatory. Make sure you pick a good time to sleep. I know a lot of the time you see these quotes about like 4 a.m. or 5 a.m., the time that legends wake up and go to sleep. Not every single legend woke up or went to sleep at 5 a.m. Some did, some didn't, all right? So you don't have to wake up early. If you're not an early bird, don't wake up early. If you live in a place where there's a lot of people being loud in general, or you can't get good quality sleep because, you know, the house doesn't get quiet till like 11 p.m. and don't try to force yourself to sleep at 10 p.m. All right, just wait till 11, let your mind rest and go to sleep. Okay, like make sure you pick a good time. If you don't have blackout curtains or anything and you struggle because it gets bright in the morning, why are you trying to stay in bed till 8 p.m. and go to sleep at 12 a.m.? Like, try go sleep a bit earlier so you can wake up with the sun if you can't block the sun out, all right? So make sure you pick a good time. Tip number 2 is lighting, all right? So we live such weird lives right now, like, and not even just right now, in general, right? Ever since light was invented, probably electricity, because lamps aren't that bad. But the truth is, every single animal out there that is not nocturnal wakes up when the sun is up and then goes to sleep when the sun is down, all right? Or at least most of them from what I know. I don't know much about every single animal. I do know a lot about the cat family because I love the cat family. But when the sun rises, they wake up. When it gradually dims, they go to sleep. We are the only creatures that have lights, okay? You turn on the light and it's bright all day and it's bright all evening. And then you go to sleep, it just somehow goes blank, like completely dark. And your brain is meant to shut down. Like imagine if you woke up and daytime was just there, right? And then all of a sudden, no sunset, no gradually getting darker. It just got all the way black. The sun just disappeared and blacked out, all right? Solar eclipse for like 12 hours. You'd think like, what? That's crazy, right? That's not how life works. Animals can't live like that. Then neither can humans. I don't know why we live with this notion of like light. The light is on 24/7. Obviously, I got lighting on right now. I hope I look good with the lighting. I don't know. Maybe I don't. I don't know. Anyway, so simulate a sunset. What I like to do is I dim my lights. So at 10 p.m., because I go to sleep at 11, I set a reminder to turn my lights red. So at 10 p.m., I turn the lights red, right? Initially, I keep them dim, kind of at like 9 p.m., I dim the lights, and then I turn them red because I got like a light that changes color, right? And then, you know, it's red, you know? So for the last hour, I'm seeing kind of dark red. It's dark red, dim red. And then by the time I go to sleep at like 11, my eyes are I'm already feeling tired because there's not no bright light in your eyes, right? There's a reason that when you wake up, you know, if you don't have like blackout curtains or something, you wake up to the sunrise because it's so bright in your eyes, right? Of course, like that, you're gonna wake up. So how do you expect yourself to fall asleep when you just had something bright in your eyes like 2 minutes ago? All right, so simulate a sunset, okay? Tip number 2 is yet again online with that. Use a blue light filter. It's hard to fall asleep without a blue light filter. So use a blue light filter on your phone. I actually keep mine on 24/7. The only time I take my blue light filter off is when I'm working out because I really want to make sure I'm really awake. But in general, I keep mine on 24/7, and then I got an extra app that just adds extra blue light because I'm really trying to protect myself. It's just called blue light filter. So if you search it in the Play Store or App Store, you'll find it. All right, so get a blue light filter on your phone. And on top of that, have a dark room. So blackout curtains, right? If you can get some blackout curtains, you cannot sleep in a light room. It's very tough. Unless you're nocturnal, then it's cool. But in general, it's tough to fall asleep in a light room and to stay asleep. So let's say you're one of them ones who wakes up at 8. I wake up at 8 now, right? 11 till 8, I sleep. And don't watch me today. I got bags because I didn't get to sleep well last night. And it's not because I didn't get to sleep well. It's because I didn't get the time to sleep because I was busy working. But in general, right, 11 to 8. So I wake up after the sun's already up. And that can actually disturb your sleep, right? Because, you know, naturally you're meant to go to sleep when it gets dark. But we live lives where you don't go to sleep when it's dark. You try to still stay productive. So you stay asleep after the sunrise. So as a result, it's hard to stay asleep. Sometimes in the past, I had woken up like 6:30, you know, 7 o'clock because the sun was up. And then one solution is having blackout curtains. So you keep your room dark until you then open your curtains or your blinds or whatever you call them. I don't have blackout curtains. I've just got an eye mask. So I either have blackout curtains or have an eye mask to stop the light from seeping in. Very simple. All right. Tip number 3 is nutrition. First things first is cut out drugs. And by drugs, I'm talking about caffeine. Cut it out at least 12 hours before bedtime. Ideally, you wouldn't even need it full stop. I'm going to be straight up with you. But I understand most people need it. Every now and again, I need it. I mean, I don't take it no more. But I used to have caffeine. Not drugs. All right? Not drugs. I'm not. Anyway, caffeine, right? Cut caffeine at least 12 hours before sleep. Minimum 12 hours. Don't be out here drinking caffeine, you know, at 6 p.m. for your workout, taking a pre-workout with caffeine in it and expecting to fall asleep at 11. That's stupid. Cut out caffeine at least 12 hours before you go to sleep. If you didn't drink caffeine at all, I do want to say your sleep would be amazing. I found when I stopped drinking caffeine in general, I slept amazing, but I understand that's not really realistic in today's world. So try to cut your caffeine 12 hours before you go to sleep. Also, make sure you're hydrated. Hydration is key, okay? Make sure you are well hydrated. Now, I'm not saying that right before you go to sleep, you should drink, right? I actually took that as a break to actually drink because my throat's kind of dry. I'm not saying do that. All I am saying is make sure you are hydrated. So throughout the day, make sure you drank enough water. 2 liters is minimum, unless you are tiny. Then 2 liters is not, and then 2 liters, it's still probably good, right? 2 liters is minimum, all right? Minimum, not the goal, not the aim. Doesn't mean you can get 1 liter and you're close to the aim. No, minimum is 2 liters. All right, so make sure you're drinking 2 liters throughout the day, and towards the time you're going to sleep, cut out the water. All right, you don't want to be peeing, waking up to pee all the time. That disturbs your sleep. You get active again and start peeing, right? Guys, make sure that you are well hydrated throughout the day, and then as you go to sleep, taper out the water. Stop drinking as much so that you can actually, you know, sleep without needing to pee and all that stuff. That's very disturbing. You know them ones when you're just lying in bed and you need to pee and you're like, do I need to pee? And you're like, yeah, I need to pee. And then you get up to pee and there ain't no pee coming out. You're like, man. Third part, it's still part of tip number 3, but the third part of this is to have a refreshing drink by your side. Ideally cold. Personally, I find if I ever struggle to sleep, I need a cold drink. All right, it's weird. I need a cold drink so I can snuggle up into the blanket, right, and be warmed up by the blanket. Have a refreshing drink, so cold drink by your side. Very simple. Just have some water or something. The worst thing is being thirsty at night and not having anything to drink. That's terrible. But just take sips. Make sure you're hydrated so you don't need it, but just take sips, you know? And last part of the third tip of nutrition is to cut your carbs, okay? Carbs is like fuel, right? You charge your phone for your day ahead of you, okay? Or you put fuel in your car when you're going out. You don't need to put fuel in your car if you're going to park your car up. And you don't need to charge your phone if you're not going to use it, if you're just going to turn it off. So why are you eating carbs right before you go to sleep, right? Why are you having a bunch of carbs for dinner? Really think about it, right? Carbs are not essential, but they are your body's preferred energy source. So why not just eat carbs, high carb breakfast, right? Or just carbs in general for breakfast. Have some carbs for lunch, not as much as breakfast because you don't need as much energy, right? And then towards the time when you're going to sleep for dinner time, cut your carbs or have really low carbs. You'll sleep like a baby. All right? Like, at least I found that personally. You know, cut your carbs. Not saying that, you know, it doesn't mean that necessarily like you will struggle to sleep if you eat carbs, right? I'm Ghanaian, so we eat a whole bunch of fufu. But I do want to say, if you cut your carbs, you probably sleep better. Unless you have a really heavy meal. But you know what I mean? Just cut your carbs, right? Tip number 4, audio. All right? Either block a bunch of audio so you don't have all the audio from people around you. You know, maybe you're in a loud household or something. Or just have audio, like listen to something quiet, right? Because something decent, something soothing. Because the weird thing is, we are the only creatures out here, from what I know, right? At least animals, right? That literally sleep in a box when no sound comes in or out. That's weird. All right, that's actually, if you had a dog and your dog just went into a little box where there was no sound coming in and out, you'd expect your dog to go crazy. So why do you expect to sleep good when it's in complete silence? Just have some white noise in the background, all right? Maybe play some lo-fi beats. I listen to lo-fi beats, all right? That's why I suggested it. Or listen to like rainforest sounds or something. You need some sound. You don't need it necessarily, but most creatures have sound around them, so you don't even deep it. Most creatures have sound around them. Not that they need it. I don't think a lion's gonna be like, I can't sleep. Someone like play the drums for me or something. I don't think that's gonna happen. But you do need, like, in general, it's just being in complete silence makes you think too much. When you have something to focus on, there was a study. I'm not gonna quote the study itself, like, you know, have it linked. There was a study a while ago where basically they tested how, like, different methods to fall asleep. And long story short, they found that the group that focused on staying awake fell asleep faster than the group that focused on falling asleep. So there was a group trying to fall asleep, actively trying, and there was a group that were just focused on staying awake. And the group that focused on staying awake fell asleep faster, because the more you try to sleep, the less you're probably going to sleep. So if you got music in the background, chilled music, not too engaging to the point where you're like, oh man, I want to know what happens next, but something chilled, you know, that you've already listened to the music before countless times, like, so, you know, J. Cole, and you're not actually focusing on going to sleep, you're actually just vibing with the music. Eventually you'll just fall asleep. Very simple. It's like, you don't fall asleep while watching Infinity War or Endgame the first time. You do fall asleep after watching it 10 times, you know? So don't make sure it's not too engaging, but make sure it's something chilled. And I'm telling you, you can fall asleep. As a kid, or as a teenager, there was a point where I would just watch Netflix, the same episodes over and over again, just right before going to sleep. Within like halfway through the episode, or sometimes 2 episodes, an episode and a half, I'd fall asleep, right? So have some noise, all right? Tip number 5 is temperature. You want to make sure that you sleep in a cold room. Have a warm blanket now. Don't be out here in a cold room. Don't be out here like with hypothermia saying that I'm the reason. You're like, oh, this is be for flexing. Have a cold room. Don't do that. All right? Just have a cold room and have a warm blanket. If you don't have like AC, just have a fan by your bed and mainly blow around your face, so your face is kind of cold, your head, that area is cold, and have a warm blanket. That is the best for falling asleep. Ever wonder why in wintertime, what do you think about when you leave, when you go outside? All right, when you wintertime, it's cold as heck, right? You're freezing. You step outside and you think about going to bed, right? You think about, oh man, I wish I could just snuggle up on my blanket. Why? Because you're beta. All right, me, Andrew Tate. I'm joking. I'm being stupid. All right, you think about being in bed because cold makes you want to snuggle up. I don't know about you guys who drive cars. If you feel tired on the road, do you make it cold? I tried making it cold once, and I blinked to sleep while I was driving. That was the scariest moment. All right, so I had to blast music after that. But the point is, when it's cold, your body wants to move less, and because it's moving less, you gradually fall asleep. You know, you have to preserve energy, so you're not moving a lot. You're staying kind of still, so you gradually fall asleep. All right, a warm room, summertime, you cannot sleep, guys. So make sure you have a cold room. One thing, and this isn't really that deep, this is just anecdotal right now. So make sure you feel fulfilled. Don't be out here having an argument with someone, right? Typing up in the comments because someone claimed you're on steroids, right? Don't be out here arguing with someone and expect you're going to be able to fall asleep straight afterwards. No, you're not going to, all right? So make sure that you feel fulfilled. Chill, you know, talk to some family, friends, or someone. Like, make sure your brain is at a good, make sure you have a good headspace before you fall asleep. All right, so you feel fulfilled, you're content. Don't leave your trashy job, come home, and just throw yourself in bed and hope you fall asleep. You're not going to. You're going to be too focused on wanting to cuss out your manager. All right, so rather try to focus on being content. You know, put a couple seasons of Naruto on. You know, a couple episodes of Naruto. You know, maybe watch a little bit of Psyche K. You know, something to just chill before you go to sleep. And yo, this is another thing I'm just going to say, just in case you guys need. Make sure you shower and brush well in advance. I'm just saying, because every time I feel tired and I'm like, oh man, I need to go brush my teeth, I low-key wake up a little bit, right? And if I wash my face, I wake up a little bit, right? So what I do is I make sure I do it. If I fall asleep at 11, I make sure I've gotten ready for sleep at 10 o'clock. So my body can gradually get tired, you know? And last but not least, sleep booty bone naked. That's what I do. You don't need to adjust or nothing, you know. It's amazing, you know. Okay, is this even a tip? This is just something I do. Anyway, guys, I hope this helped. I hope you guys get some amazing sleep so you guys can have amazing testosterone so you guys can make some amazing gains, all right? Ooh, sorry, I flexed a bit too much. But yeah, I hope this helps. It's Beautiful Flex, and I'm out.
Beautiful Flex.